G fans, GojiFan1993 here, and welcome to my top 10 list of my favorite moments from my channel. Now, the reason I wanted to do a video like this is because of, in celebration of my 4-year anniversary that's coming up real soon, and because of a big certain announcement that is going to be coming as well on the 18th. So I thought that this video would be pretty appropriate for this time. So without further ado, let's begin my top list of my favorite moments from my channel. Alright, so coming in at number 10 is going to be me raging at Legendary for not showing the trailer of Godzilla 2014. Yeah, when I did this video, this was pretty much the video that really started the snowball effect for my channel. A lot of my older subscribers will remember this video, and I look back at it going, you know, like, geez, was I really like that? It's just, that was like me as a fanboy, like a complete utter fanboy that's just like hating on everything. Like I'm so glad I'm not like that anymore. But yeah, it's a good and bad video to look back on, because good because it was like the first video that really went viral for me, and you know, really started the snowball effect. That's where I gained like 1,000 subscribers in one day. It was insane. But then it's also bad because I just look at myself back then and I go, really? Did I really act like that? So it's kind of embarrassing, cringeworthy, but at the same time it's something that's funny to look back on. So coming in at number 9 is going to be the Godzilla retrospective series that I actually did this year. That series was an idea that I've wanted to do for a very long time. I just never had the time or the motivation to actually follow through with it. But this year I finally did, probably because I played most of the, well, pretty much all the Godzilla games. I also, you know, was waiting for Godzilla Vs. to come out, so that got done, and then I got a good friend of mine, Super Godzilla Gaming, to help me do the narrations for it. And the videos, like the whole series, took a very, like, long time to make. It was about like 2 months of making the script, gathering the footage, making sure everything, like editing wise, putting all the clips together. Like, it was probably the most like a lot of work that I put into a series that I've ever done. Like, it was a lot of work putting into it, but I really do like the end product and how it turned out, and a lot of you guys seem to like it. And honestly, it's the very first Godzilla video game retrospective that's ever been put on the internet. And my biggest inspirations for that series was Game Trailers retrospective series, if you guys remember them, and also I forgot what the other kind of inspiration for that series was, but I just wanted to see a video series, and that's the point of YouTube. Like, I wanted to see something like this be on YouTube, so I decided to make it, and there we go, the Godzilla video game retrospective. Alright, coming in at number 8, I have Kaiju Fantasy Battles, also previously known as Godzilla Fantasy Battles, for those of you who are my older subscribers. Yes, this series was, I started this when I first started my channel back in 2013. We just finished the Kaiju Fantasy Battle Reignited series, which obviously that's just going to be one season. I don't really have any plans on doing another one, because that one was very hectically put together, if that makes sense. We didn't really expect the Patreon kind of came into effect with that, and I'll talk about that later. But I want to talk about the original series first. The one where I used game footage and took, you know, requests and all that stuff. That, I mean, it was kind of a fun series because it was a lot of viewer interaction, and I was able to, you know, just have fun playing the games and recording them and all that stuff. So yeah, I did not expect it to blow up like it did. I didn't expect so many people to like it, because really all it is just game footage of two monsters fighting, or depending on what game I was playing, you know. But people really seemed to like it, and I kept it going for 5 seasons of just the classic ones, and then I took like a year break, and that's when the Reignited idea came along, because now that I'm friends with ASUSA, which a lot of you guys know is ASUSA Productions, a really awesome animator of MMD, I asked him if he wanted to help me make this new series, and because of the Patreon account that I started this year, it helped fund that whole thing. Initially, the Patreon account was also supposed to fund a lot more other things, equipment, camera, computer parts, all this other good stuff, but the thing was I didn't make enough a month to actually fund the other stuff, so all it was just being able to make Fantasy Battle. So without Patreon, Reignited would not have happened, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, Fantasy Battle overall, though, probably one of my most successful series on the channel, and it was really fun to make. Alright, at number 7 I have my first X Plus figure. Now, he is right here. When I did my first X Plus unboxing figure, it was probably one of the funniest intros to. I'm like running down the stairs with this big box, and I'm like, it's here, it's here. And yeah, it was my favorite Godzilla, and I couldn't, this was the reason I'm into X Plus, is because of this guy here. And it's just amazing that, you know, from him now it stems all of these guys, and it's crazy. It's really crazy how it all started. It's actually Rich Iso's fault. It's all your fault, man. You got me addicted to this stuff. But yeah, you know, it was just one of those unboxing videos that was probably one of the most fun to make. And when I opened that package, it was like, I saw how epic X Plus can be, and I've never seen anything like it. And you know, so for those of you who are about to get your first X Plus figure, or who are wanting to get into the line, if you can afford it, I highly recommend you do, because once you open that box and you see the figure in there, it is like, seeing it on camera or seeing pictures does not justify it. You have to see it in person. These figures are amazing, and yeah, so that was a really fun unboxing video to make. And it was just a very fun memory of getting my very first X Plus, and I'm really happy that I was able to share it with you guys. Alright, coming in at number 6, I have the Gabra's Bad Day video series. Now, this series I will always look fondly on when I think back to this channel. And the thing is, it was G-Fest 2014, my first G-Fest that I went to, and what I ended up grabbing was a YSMF Gabra. I think it's YSMF or YMSF. I forget the ordering of the letters there, but I don't have him right now, unfortunately, to show, but you know what he looks like, and you know, he's this Gabra figure that's just kind of like this, you know, and I don't know why. I wasn't on drugs, I promise, but I just woke up one day thinking, you know, it'd be so funny to have a kind of video where Gabra like comes to life. It's like a Toy Story thing where he comes to life, and then the puppet that I had, you know, just kind of, it's that 2003 puppet that I got from Chris Elchison, as well, that I got from G-Fest. And I just I made 3 videos in a span of like one day, and just made this funny little adventure with him. And it sort of exploded a little bit. I mean, it's not the most popular series I made, but definitely people remember it. A lot of people do. And it took me a while to make the next 3 videos, because making a video like that was really hard to do with just a one-man team, because I had to, like, on those floor scenes where Gabra's like walking on the floor, I had to like have the camera down, I had to like army crawl on the ground to get that shot. Like, everything was shot by, I mean, the whole series was made by myself. It was really hard to do that with like stop motion, and also just, you know, moving the characters without showing my fingers and all that stuff. It was really difficult. That's why it took me a while to make the rest of the series. But I feel like, you know, the way I ended it was really spectacular. I think I really liked the way it ended, and I just, poor guy, you know, poor Gabra. But hey, you know, it made a really funny comedy video, and once again, I'll look fondly back on it, and it's like one of the best things. And you guys really enjoyed it too. So thank you so much for supporting that show. Alright, coming in at number 5, I have probably one of my most favorite moments is beating Super Godzilla. So for those of you who don't know, a long time ago when I started my Let's Plays of the Godzilla games, Super Godzilla was, I believe, the 3rd game that I got into. And this was back when my channel was still pretty new. It was in 2013, and I started to play Super Godzilla, and I raged, and I lost, and it was very annoying. The game pissed me off so much that I literally rage quit in the middle of the video and ended it there. I made a follow-up video saying, like, you know, this is what this and that, and I was basically bitching and complaining about all this stuff of the game. Then a year later, I did a live stream when I started getting into Twitch, and I did a live stream. I think it was actually on Godzilla's 60th birthday. I don't remember exactly if it was on that date, but I did a live stream playing Super Godzilla 3, and I wanted to play through the whole thing with you guys, and I did. I played through the whole game with you guys, and we all got to enjoy the adventure of beating it. And like I love just seeing my reaction when I finally beat Bagan, and no, actually when I beat King Ghidorah, because King Ghidorah was the first big challenge, and so I finally got the hang of the game and how the mechanics worked and how it, you know, how you get to, you know, how you have to defeat the bosses, and it's a really complicated control scheme and all that, but I finally did, and man, that was like one of the best. And as a gamer, that was also one of my favorite moments. Not just doing it on the channel, but as a gamer, it was one of those games that I beat and I felt so good about it. So that was a really fun memory. Coming at number 4, I have premiering Return of Space Godzilla. This was probably one of the most defining moments in my life, because there's no better feeling than working on a project with people, in a group of people, for so long, over a year of working on a project, and actually being able to finish it, not only finish it, but then show it off to a live audience, and then the audience loving it. The feeling was just so amazing, and I never felt that before, and it was one of the most gratifying things that I've ever done, and that's why I'm really excited about Wrath of the Hybrid to do it again, but Return of Space Godzilla was the first major project I feel in my, I guess, career of being an entertainer slash content creator, whatever. And it was like so fun. I was so nervous. I remember it was sitting there at G-Fest in the film festival room, and I was sitting next to James Myers, and James Myers was Cosmophobia. He was our animator he was the human scene animator for the time. And he was sitting there next to me, and when the film started, you know, we're just looking at each other going like, oh, hopefully people will like this. And yeah, they did. I mean, you know, there were people clapping at some parts, there were people laughing at some parts, which was great. And it was, yeah, and then being able to do the Q&A at the end, where me and the team got to go up on the table, and you know, we got to answer questions about the movie. That was so fun, and it was such a, oh, like from start to finish, such an amazing experience and such an amazing time with friends, being able to finish something like that. And even though the film is a fan film and it's kind of, you know, obviously it's not top-notch quality, but that doesn't matter. It's the experience and it's the journey, and then what the payoff was just so gratifying, and it was so good. So that was a really just special moment for me. Alright, number 3, this is also very recent, but super gratifying at the same time, finishing Super Godzilla Breakout. That game just came out on the 31st of December, and once again, it was that kind of deal where it was like finally starting a project, finishing it, and actually showing it off to people, and people loving it, and people receiving it in a very positive light. That was another very gratifying moment, and it was just recent, and I'm still kind of high off it because people are still sending me messages, people are still making videos about Super Godzilla Breakout, and once again, I say it in every time I talk about Super Godzilla Breakout, but I can't thank Burning Godzilla Lord enough for all of his support and all of his hard work for making this. He was the main programmer of the game. He made a lot of the design, like mechanics and how the bosses work and everything. He took my idea and just skyrocketed it to a level that I never even thought the game would be. My original vision for the game was not this, but it turned out better than what I even originally intended for it. And once again, it's all thanks to Burning Godzilla Lord. And once again, for those of you who don't know who Burning Godzilla Lord is, he is a sprite artist on DeviantArt, a very talented sprite artist too, and he's also very good at Game Maker, which is a game engine that Super Godzilla Breakout was made on. And he was pretty much the first person I ever talked to on the internet in the Godzilla community. It was on the Toho Kingdom forums, and he was the first person that was interested when I posted my Super Godzilla Breakout, or no, the original Godzilla Breakout game. He was interested in it, and he said, "Oh, very good job," and I said, "Yeah, thanks, man." And then when I started work on Super Godzilla Breakout, I asked him for help on that, but that was back in 2013, and then, you know, through development hell, hiatus, and all this stuff, finally, you know, it was late 2015, early 2016 when I finally got a hold of him again, and we really just cranked through it and finally finished it, and now Super Godzilla Breakout is here. So yeah, another amazing moment of actually getting the project done and seeing it through. and you guys loving it. So thank you so much for playing the game and giving it such a positive response. Alright, coming in at number 2 is going to be meeting you guys. Honestly, doing the channel and all that stuff has been an amazing adventure, an amazing thing in my life. And the fact that when I went to GFest and I got to meet all these fans, it was insane. It's something that I've never really felt before, because at school when I was growing up, you know, playing video games, liking Godzilla, you know, kind of being that nerd or that geek in school at the time, because now being a geek or a nerd is considered cool. But when I was in, I sound old, but when I was in elementary and in middle school, it wasn't really that cool like it is now. When like playing video games and stuff, you were kind of considered one of those outcast people, and especially when you liked stuff like this, you were really considered a dork or not cool. So throughout my, you know, my whole childhood life, I never really, I mean, I had friends of course, but we were all in that group of kind of outcasts where we did our own thing, played games and all that stuff, but never really accepted among people. And so with this channel, that's what kind of gave me that high, was that a lot of you guys started, like, you accepted me as this cool guy, and like it was kind of cool. So seeing you guys at GFest and coming up and wanting pictures, wanting autographs and stuff, it was overwhelming. It was a very overwhelming feeling, and it still is. Every time when I go and I see people, and all ages, I've seen like young kids come up to me, I've seen people my age come up to me, I've seen some people that are like my dad's age that come up to me and they say, "Hey, are you the guy in the internet?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's one of the most insane things, and you know, the only way I could really thank all of you guys was by doing the slideshows that I do every time I go to GFest and showing everybody that I took a picture with. And I've also made really good friends, and that's kind of going to tie into number 1. But meeting the fans and meeting you guys and shaking hands, giving high fives, discussing about Godzilla at the convention, or going to a panel with a couple people, you know, having like a little bit of a gang going on, you know, not a bad gang, I'm saying like a, you know, like the Godzilla gang, there you go, haha, there you go, Louis Duran, gave a little shout out there. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, it was such an amazing feeling, and I can't thank you guys enough, and I can't wait to do it again, so yeah. So before we get to number 1, I have a couple of honorable mentions that I'm going to list right here. Alright, coming in at number 1, this is the thing that I take away from this channel, that when I look back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years at my life, and I look back at this moment, the thing that this channel, the best thing, was making friends. I have made so many new friends from doing this channel that if I never did this channel, that I would have never met any of these amazing people. Probably the first friend I made obviously was Burning Godzilla Lord. Then Plutonium2356 showed up. There you go, man. You got your shout out. I know you wanted a shout out. There you go. You know, Riv Travis. Like all these old people. There was Ultramothra1 that I met. She was really fun. She's not on YouTube anymore. There was also Ultra Godzilla Gamera, or I think Ultra Gamera Godzilla. Some of you may know who he is. A lot of these people aren't doing YouTube anymore. Then there was like Mr. Augzilla that I remember meeting. Then I met Everett, which is Godzilla Fan Freaks. He's a really good friend of mine now. Every time we go to GFest, we always meet up and hang out. I met, you know, obviously Rich Iso is now a really good friend of mine. And then like all the people on the X Plus group on Facebook, I made lots of friends there. I can't think of all your names. I'm sorry if I miss anybody, but those are like Rob from ETN. Those are also, he's also a really good friend. But once again, I know I'm missing a lot of people, and I'm so sorry, but you know who you are, especially for you guys who are at G-Fest when we have our little group and we go out and like we go to the mall when G-Fest is kind of boring for a bit. We go to the mall, we eat, we go to the food court, like that was fun. Like you all know who you are, and that was, like making so many friends so quick, but good connections. It's not like all the people that are friends with me, like very good friends, they don't want to be friends with me just because I'm this guy on YouTube. They want to be friends with me because they are genuinely interested in me, and that's the same thing with when, you know, like when I look at Rich Iso or when I look at Godzilla Fan Freaks, I don't want to be friends with them just because they're on YouTube. I am genuinely interested in them as a person, and that's why you become friends, because you are you have the same interest, and you are genuinely interested in what each other has to say about things, and just, you know, sharing memories and all that stuff. And by far, best thing about this channel was making friends, and so many memories to come, and especially all the new friends that I've made with doing these projects. I made like Asusa Productions, I made friends with Deadzilla, I made friends with Goji1993. Like when I started my channel, I didn't even think I would ever be able to talk to those guys, but now I'm able to talk to those guys, and it's like the coolest feeling ever. But you know, and then like with the Wrath of the Hybrid team, you know, friends with Quinn Craftables and friends with Ultraman Ultimo, which are amazing animators at Source Filmmaker and MMD, and then making friends with Alex, who is the guy who made Godzilla Daikaiju Battle Royale. That's a big thing. And then also making friends with Vinny, who was the composer and the guy who made the music for Godzilla Daikaiju Battle Royale, who is now the composer for Wrath of the Hybrid. Like, it's amazing how these connections and a small world really connects us all, and how I've made friends in the most genuine ways with people is awesome. So if there's one thing that I will take away from this channel when I look back on it, is making these friendships. Best thing I've ever done, and that's the one thing I will never regret about this channel. So that's it, guys. That is my top 10 favorite memorable moments or favorite things about my channel. Stay tuned for the 18th, guys. I have a pretty serious and big announcement. Some of you guys, I think, know what's going to happen, but I really, whatever happens in the future, guys, I really want you to know that I am so thankful and grateful for everything that you guys have done for me for these 4 years of my channel being there, and just whatever, like I said, whatever happens, guys, please keep an open mind. Please be nice to each other. This Godzilla community is starting to fall apart. Let's try to hold it, okay? Alright, Shin Godzilla almost killed us, okay? So let's really, you know, make this great. And yes, I will see you guys on the 18th for my big announcement. As always, stay big, G fans.